Oh, there he goes. It's episode number 8, the Ocho. And on this eve of Cinco de Mayo, we're bringing a little more Latino flavor to the show. As Enrique Vargas, former host of Full Count, he's going to join the program to talk baseball with ESPO and I. Plus, we take on a fun bracket. The best facial hair baseball. Sorry, I can't speak today. The best facial hair in baseball of all time. Should be a lot of fun. And of course, ESPO and I are going to take on another Who Am I challenge on tonight's edition of Leading Off. And we are live. Welcome back to the show. It's episode number 8 of Leading Off, live from Studio 69 in New Jersey and REM Studio in Staten Island, New York, and exclusively on Twitch and powered by StreamYard. And welcome back to the show on this Monday, May the 3rd, 2021. I'm your host, Rich Rivera, and I'm being joined by a guy who's very happy that his Mets won last night, ESPO.
Yes, sir. That is me. I am happy, if not emotionally exhausted, to say the least. But
yeah,
got it done.
That was a wild game for an ESPN Sunday Night Baseball game. I'm sure the studio host Matt Vescourge and A-Rod, they were all happy about that game. But it was a wild one. It was a wild one. Big hit for Pete Alonso, clearing the bases. The controversial call with Hoskins. I mean, it was a wild game last night.
We also have to give a shout out to the new hitting coach, Donnie.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear about that story?
Go for it, ESPO. Why don't you enlighten us?
Well, I guess we're kind of still leading off, but I don't know if you wanted to cover the bases a little more, or ducks on the pond. I'm sorry.
I guess I can cover some bases and ducks on the pond, but that was pretty anticlimactic to say the least. But before we do that, just want to remind you guys that we are live. We are now on YouTube, so you can go to our YouTube channel, Leading Off. You can find all of our episodes since we started back on March 15th, which feels like a lifetime ago at this rate. It's crazy that we're in the 3rd different month of this program. So yes, you can check out all our shows there. And of course, after tonight's episode of Leading Off, this edition will be on our YouTube page as well. But ESPO wanted it, so I'm going to give you it. Ducks on the pond. As our bases are loaded full of news and notes across the league. We started off with injuries, as we always do, and we've had some big ones. And now, if you're reading the ticker at the bottom, I probably should have taken it off because a lot of that is outdated because there's some big pieces that came out on a few of these guys. We'll start with Dustin May. Dustin May of the Dodgers. They're looking at a damaged UCL. They recommended Tommy John surgery, and he will be undergoing Tommy John surgery for the young rookie with the LA. Sorry, I don't even think he's a rookie anymore. I think he actually achieved his eligibility already. But Dustin May, Tommy John surgery, big loss for the Dodgers rotation. But at the same time, when I say big loss for the Dodgers rotation, I'm like, all right, well, they still have 3 number ones. They still have 2 guys in the bullpen that can easily draw starts. But for Dustin May, it's a tough loss.
Right. I mean, no matter which way you slice it, it is a tough loss for the Dodgers. Yes, they do have tremendous depth, probably the best in the game, but this is still a guy they were expecting to be a big piece of the rotation this year. And he's a building block going forward for future years. So this really hurts his development, having to sit out for, I mean, it could be for the better part of 2 seasons. Let's be honest, he'll be on the shelf for the rest of this year and probably for a good majority of next year too. So it really does stink for the Dodgers, but it really just illustrates the need for depth, that you can never have enough of it.
Right. And the thought of possibly with the Atlantic League moving back the mound a foot or 2 in the second half of the season, and you got guys with the regular mound still, rupturing their UCL and then calling it a season. I mean, it's almost apparent. You're a pitcher in the big leagues. You're going to get Tommy John surgery. It is what it is. So, yeah, it's a tough loss for May and the Dodgers. Luis Robert, speaking of tough losses, again, outdated ticker, because initially had day-to-day with just a right flexor strain. Now, shut down for 12 to 16 weeks with a grade 3 hip flexor strain. So I want to shout out my friend Andrew Corey, who our guest is very familiar with, who owns both Dustin May and Luis Robert on his fantasy team. So I'm sorry for your loss, bud. Yes, Luis Robert, big loss for the White Sox, who are already hurting with the loss of Eloy Jimenez for the season. This is a tough one.
It's not good, Rich. More so for the White Sox than for my fantasy team. But yeah, it really sucks for the White Sox. First, you lose Eloy. He's down for pretty much the entire season. So it's like, okay, he's down, but you have Robert to get you through. We still have some power in the outfield, but him going down, that's just a brutal loss. I mean, it's going to be tough for them to keep hitting without two of their best guys. I mean, well, obviously they've been without Eloy for the first month, but it's going to be a dogfight in the Central for them, and it just got that much harder. That's for certain.
Yes, sir, indeed. And I mentioned here in the ticker below, also Shohei Ohtani's day-to-day with a sore elbow. George Springer, day-to-day with some leg fatigue, so he's had some trouble also staying healthy at this early point in the season. J.D. Davis just put on the 10-day DL, 10-day IL now, once again. And it's another tough hiccup for the third baseman of the New York Mets.
Yeah, it's really quite unfortunate because he has been battling injuries for pretty much all season so far. But he was just starting to hit his stride. He was hitting really well. He's drawing walks, hitting for power, and now he goes back on the shelf. So it is a tough blow for the Mets. But once again, just illustrates the need for having good depth. Johnny Villar, he's going to step right in, and hopefully they won't miss a beat.
Yes, sir. And
I love
very
admirably
I
last
love
night.
that Villar heads up play in last night's game. I mean, that game was so crazy, but that was just awesome. That was awesome to see out there. Jonathan Villar taking advantage of a situation. Moving on, we talk about the Pioneer League, and it's funny because I felt like we were just talking about how the Atlantic League was implementing new rules to be tested for Major League use, and now you have the Pioneer League that's going to try a new extra inning rule by abandoning extra innings altogether and subbing it with a head-to-head home run derby. Espo, what are your thoughts on this one?
Great for a video game, maybe an all-star game, but a real-life game with implications for the standings. I mean, come on. It's just, what is this, amateur hour? Those are my thoughts, Rich.
Now,
I think it's a terrible rule. I do appreciate that they're trying to experiment and innovate and try and make the game more interesting, but I feel like there are other ways to do it. I mean, I feel like the extra innings rule in the majors is kind of frustrating, but maybe if they move that to, instead of starting in the 10th inning immediately, maybe 11th or 12th inning, so you can at least have some sort of normal baseball, but I don't know.
Yeah. And this is a conversation of what I had with my co-host, Tom Mospel, who is in our chat. Shout out to Tom, who says, honestly, it's not any different than a shootout in the NHL, which is a great concept in the season. And I think there may be room for, let's just say the Pioneer League thing is a hit, and now it goes through MLB. You could potentially see something along the lines of you play extra innings, right? As normal as it could be. Then you get the the international rule in play, the extra inning rule with the runner starting at second base for maybe another couple innings. If we're now talking in the 15th inning, I think that's when you do the home run derby. I would say extend the game another like maybe 5 innings. This is a suggestion that I hope doesn't happen, by the way, because I love the game as is, and I just think it's kind of wild how much the game has changed over the last few years. But we'll talk more about that.
With 15th inning home run derby sounds fascinaing.
If you had to draw somebody on the Mets to compete in this head-to-head home run derby, who you taking? I think it's easy, actually.
Oh, there's no question. It is Big Meat Pete, without question.
So
how about you? And durability counts.
Giancarlo.
Yeah?
Got to take Giancarlo
durability
there.
Counts, Rich.
Tom says DeGrom. I mean, the way DeGrom's hitting, I wouldn't be surprised. That'd be awesome. All right. Moving on to our last note here. And we don't really talk about the Colorado Rockies as much, but this was a news piece. Jeff Bridich.
Because they're trash.
They are trash. But Jeff Bridich stepped down as the general manager of the Rockies, probably because they are trash. And Bill Schmidt has been named as the interim general manager. I thought this was an interesting note just because of how long Bridich has been with the team. 17 years with the organization, took over the GM spot in the mid-2010s. So, the Rockies are I guess, shaking things up, and it looks like British, took this one on the chin and said, "I think it's time for me to move on." And it's been a rough go around for Colorado, and it's just like, man, when is this team going to break through?
It seems as though it feels like British is maybe being held as the scapegoat for just the failings of ownership to really have the desire to field a competitive team. I mean, Dick Monfort, he's really lived up to his name in recent years. He's a dick.
I mean, I don't mind a guy with the nickname Dick. I mean, I had to deal with it in junior high for all those years, so it's fine. It is what it is. There are famous Dicks out there: Dick Cheney, Dick Tracy. He was fictional though. Who cares? But yeah, Rockies. Moby Dick. Moby Dick was a fucking whale though. No, was it the whale or was it the dude who? I don't know.
Moving on.
First grade English. All right. Moving on, let's plug some Twitters here while we're at it. And if you're in the chat, let me know who Moby Dick is. Is Moby Dick the whale or is the seaman who rode the whale? Anyway, our Twitters. You can follow us at L Off Podcast. You can follow ESPO at
The Life of ESPO.
And you can follow me at Rich J. Rivera. But more importantly, you can follow our guest who's joining us here real soon on Instagram at Enrique Fades LIC. He is the former host of Full Count, great baseball podcast, part of the Podbean network. Also a huge Mets fan, so we're going to talk some New York Metropolitans baseball. More importantly, this man's also solely responsible for probably one of the best fades in Staten Island. It's covered by a hat right now. But hey, shout out to DePaul's Barbershop. And shout out to our guest who's joining us right now, Enrique Vargas. Joins us here on Leading Off.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, bud? How's it going?
It's LLC, just correction.
Oh, LLC.
Yes.
I get confused, though, with like lowercase L's and like the capital I's. And I'm like, I don't know. So it's LLC. So Enrique Fades LLC on Instagram. Follow him. He's got like the sweetest hands in the world to cut that hair. He's awesome.
I had to create a new page starting over. Would love new followers.
Of course. So give him a follow over on the gram. Espo, it took you like over a year to get a haircut. I was telling you, man, you got to just come to Staten Island, hit my man Enrique. He'll hook you up.
I had the shaggy haircut for a while, but I'm now clean cut. But when that time comes due again, I may just have to take a trip to the island.
My man.
Happy to support a fellow Mets fan. If you were wearing a Yankees hat, I don't know if I could come to your shop.
And I tell you what, it's like a day in the shop because, Enrique and I, we talk baseball all the time. And we love talking about the New York teams, and he's a huge Mets fan. So I got to start it off by asking you, man.
Is he? I didn't know, Rich. Thank you for pointing that out.
Thanks, bud. What are your thoughts on the team this year? I know it's been a wild season so far for the Mets. A lot of postponements, a lot of ups and downs. But, like, what's your overall take on the team?
I think they're a good team. Honestly, I don't think they're much better than 500 team right now. Until they can get everything to click at the same time, they're a 500 team. Lindor, I'm starting to get a bit concerned right now. He just looks completely lost at the plate. Defense is great. He's saved us a lot of games defensively. So that is nice. So I can't say he's lost or just not in it, but he's definitely lost at the plate right now. And I am concerned about that. The pitching looks great. Taijuan Walker looks amazing. Lucchese's been a little disappointing so far, considering how he looked in spring. But the bullpen has been really lights out. Besides Diaz pitching in a game he shouldn't have been pitching last night.
I blame Rojas. He should have never been in there in the first place.
No, should not have been in the game.
Back days in a non-save situation.
Yeah.
Terrible managing.
For a guy who, we're not trying to pitch back-to-back days and really want to protect over, basically a pitch count. They're not going to throw him out there for 6 outs.
Right.
Why the hell is he pitching a 4-run lead game?
Right. That quickly became a 1-run game.
Was in a 4-game series.
Right. Big series.
Right. So this is now they're finally hitting the stretch of some consistent baseball right now, sparing any COVID or weather distractions.
Right.
But
yeah,
it's I'm a bit concerned.
And you mentioned the Mets pitching, still tops among the league, 3.11 across the board, which is solid. It's actually fifth in baseball. It's actually crazy to see the Yankees are now up in the third spot, which is wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, you mentioned Lindor, slow start for him, a 171 batting line to start the year. You're just sitting back and just hoping, like, man, is this guy going to be the guy we just paid millions of dollars for the next 10 years?
Hundreds of millions
of dollars.
I do think he is. I did take a look. His career numbers, he has terrible Aprils. He's like a 48 April hitter. And then he turns it up in May, statistically looking at his career. I mean, it's only, May 3rd? So, you can't expect it to just hit May and him just now. But if I don't see something by the end of this week from Lindor, it's gonna be like, holy shit, man! Like, not another one of these.
Listen, my birthday is May 16th, and if Francisco Lindor is not above the Mendoza line by my birthday, then we got a big problem.
Yes, that I
yes.
concur on.
I can 100% agree with that. I wonder with Lindor, is it okay to use the lame duck excuse of maybe he's just in a more competitive division now than he's ever been in?
I think there's a lot of factors. National League, National League East.
The number one factor, though, is this.
Yes.
I think it's really mental. It's got to be in his head.
It's at the plate. He doesn't look confident. He's not even taking confident swings.
Right.
Yes,
weak contact on a lot, too.
A get away from me, basically, type of swing yesterday, and basically a little floater in foul territory to third baseman. And that was a big spot he was in that position, too. It was runners on. He's had a good amount of opportunities now with runners in position to break open games or even put them in a lead, and he's failed. And just not even good at bats. That's where I'm concerned. He's swinging first pitch a lot of the times right now and hitting weak grounders, rolling them over to the right side when he's hitting lefty. But I do think he's going to be okay. I do. If we're in the same position in a week from now, I'm probably going to have a different answer.
Yeah, I just don't think a superstar caliber player of that nature just bats 170 for a full year, barely, scratches out good at bats. It's gonna come around, and we're looking forward to this. Even on my side of the fence, being the Yankee fan and all, I want to see Lindor do great things. He's great for the game. He's a great ambassador for the game. Great representative of Puerto Rico. So it's awesome to see him do his thing on the New York side, and he is a bona fide superstar, and he's going to get it together. I mean, it's without a doubt.
It does concern me, though, only for the fact that he got booed already.
Welcome to New York.
Right.
Welcome to New York.
Professional athletes have never been told they suck in their whole life. You now signed a huge deal, and you're getting booed.
Listen, if I'm getting paid that much money, you can boo me all you want.
Right. We say that. He's talking about a 27-year-old kid. He's a kid.
I'll be 27 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I'm 33. From 27 to 33, a lot has changed mentally on just approaching situations. A situation like that, at an age like that, can linger and really fuck up your time. So if it does last, we might be in another Edwin Diaz situation.
I hope not.
You don't want to see that. We don't want to see that at all.
Don't. I love what Diaz has turned into right now. This year he looks ridiculous.
With the exception of Sunday night.
Besides last night. But even last night, that was a 101-mile fastball just misplaced.
He's always had the stuff. It's just a matter of consistency.
So, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not ready to get on the edge. I'm stepping to it, but I'm not on it.
Well, I mean, the positive is it is May 3rd. It is not September, September 15th. We're not in the thick of things yet, and it's still an early season. And I think just across baseball too, there's been just like a lot of slow starts for the bats. And I don't know if it's just a rhythm thing of the shortened season last year, and then just being thrown right back into spring training and a full schedule again. Maybe it is a lot of these postponements that have happened as well. But it does seem like across the board, these guys are just not in that normal rhythm still. So it may take a little longer than it usually has in the past. But again, a guy like Lindor, I can't worry about him yet. But anyway, if you are joining us here on Twitch, we thank you so much for it. We're here with Enrique Vargas, who's just chilling on the couch right now, having a freaking great time. Enrique, you can follow on Instagram at Enrique Fades LLC, not LIC. It's not licensed. No, it is licensed, right? It's still licensed, LLC. So, right. Enrique Fades LLC, representing the Paul's Barbershop, but his old podcast as well, Full Count. Good show. Had a great chance to listen to that in the shop before. But we're going to bring on a fun segment here for the three of us to all partake in. It's called The Bracket. And on tonight's bracket, and kind of channeling what happens down in the barbershop, we're going to talk about facial hair. Facial hair, the best facial hair in baseball history. We have a lot to go through. And with the help of my co-host here, ESPO, who presented some great images earlier today, we're going to go through it. Who has the best facial hair of all time in baseball history? So we're going to start it off. With a legend, a Hall of Famer. And let's pull up some pictures here because we just need the imagery for the sake of it. This guy right here. We got Raleigh Fingers.
Good old Raleigh Fingers.
Or a current day guy, Dallas Keuchel. Who we going with, guys?
Got to go with the OG.
Yes.
Raleigh. I mean, that mustache is just like, that is straight Bond villain.
That is intimidating, that mustache. I would not want to get in a box with a guy that has a mustache like that.
It's a Hall of Fame mustache. And I think it's inspired a generation as well. I saw a guy, he's not on our bracket because he's just a no-name, Clay Zavada, who used to pitch with the Diamondbacks, used to have a little curly mustache going on, all Raleigh Finger style. So I think he inspired a generation of mustaches and beards in baseball. All right, our next two we have here, we got Sparky Lyle, Yankee great, and Somerset Patriots legend in a way because he managed the team for a little bit. Somerset Patriots opening day is tomorrow, by the way, which is cool. And another relief pitcher, we have the Mad Hungarian, Al Hrabosky.
Ooh.
So Al Hrabosky or Sparky Lyle?
Oh, this is tough. This is definitely a very tight matchup.
I'm going with the handlebars.
I gotta go with Big Al, the Hungarian.
I agree. And I looked at so many different images we could use for Al Hrabosky as well. And he changed his beard like almost every time, which is insane. Right now, I mean, I love this look, right? The handlebar, Hulk Hogan status, maybe a little Sal Fasano in there.
Hair coming out of the helmet too.
The chops on there, the sideburns.
The chops, man. The chops. Like, this guy needed to visit freaking DePaulo's right there.
That dude got laid in the 70s hard.
That guy was never made. He was never made to be a Yankee.
He didn't even have to speak. He just sat at the bar, took his hat off.
Oh, he's in.
Shut the locks, handlebars out all day.
And got all the ladies. All right, next we have a more contemporary guy, Jason Worth. Don't remind the Nationals of that contract.
Ooh. Jason Worthless.
Exactly. Jason Worth, or here's another legend, Don Mattingly. Got to go with the mustache here.
Johnny Baseball.
What we got?
Baseball.
You got to go with the Caterpillar.
I hate Jason Worth that much.
Not only does Mattingly have a great mustache, but also fuck Jason
Worth.
So.
A lot of hate on Jason Worth. I get it. Two Met fans, I understand. All right, our last matchup here of the first round, we got Johnny Damon. Specifically, this is like 2005, 2004, 05 Damon. This is like, that run Damon. And then we got this guy. Brian Wilson, the beard.
Wilson.
Fear the beard. They both have great beards, very different ones. Johnny Damon's more like Jesus, and Brian Wilson kind of just looks like a meth addict.
Yeah, Johnny Damon was like,
eyes. Look at those eyes.
He's gonna kill you.
Beard, you kind of want to like pet it,
right?
Brian Wilson's kind of like, get away from that guy. So I'm going with Brian Wilson.
I think so. Brian's definitely more intimidating.
I'm with you guys there. Absolutely. All right, Brian Wilson. Moving on to the second round here. So now we got Raleigh Fingers. Again, back to the mustache.
Number 1 seed.
Or we go with the handlebar. Alabowski.
This is tough.
That's tough. I should just go all politics here. We want one?
I'm going to have to go with creator of the culture,
one.
Raleigh Fingers.
Raleigh Fingers. I like it.
I'm gonna have to agree. He's just
wow.
He made that mustache.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show where we agree with everything now. Look at this. All right. I like it. Raleigh Fingers moving on to the finals. Our next matchup here in the semis, we have Dom Mattingly, of course, Yankee great. Or we got Brian Wilson. Oh, that's not Brian Wilson. Who the fuck put that in? Who put that in?
Oh, goodness.
Or Brian Wilson.
Oh, man. Was that John Travolta? Or I'm not sure who that was.
Let's not talk about it. We don't want to talk about that broccoli head. We don't talk about that.
May I see the pictures again? I need to go through them.
Yes, of course. Sure. We got Brian Wilson.
No, go back.
Or Don Mattingly.
There was one in between, though.
That's it. That's all we had. That's all we had. I know what you're talking about.
I'm going with what was the second guy's name? I can't get over that.
Brian Wilson. I got to go with Wilson. That beard is just too much.
Wilson.
Brian Wilson moves on. Quarantine was rough, guys. Quarantine was fucking rough. That's all I'm going to say. Our finals, we have Raleigh Fingers. There we go. Raleigh. Or we got the beard.
This is really a philosophical debate.
It's a full beard versus a mustache.
This is finesse versus power.
Different generations. Brian Wilson started the whole badass biker-looking beard.
Right.
Coming out of the pen, like a whole intimidation factor.
Yes.
But at the same time, there is no Brian Wilson without Raleigh Fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Going Brian Wilson.
Oh, shocker. You know, we're going to disagree. Finally, I got to go with Raleigh. I'm old school.
All right. I get a vote finally. Awesome.
You made that look. Rich, why don't you tie break this for us?
I get a vote. And you know what? This was a tough one because I felt like these two were going to be in the finals. That's why I kept them apart from each other. These guys aren't really seeded, but I kept them apart from each other for a reason. I'm going with Brian Wilson, though. The guy is nicknamed the Beard. He's nicknamed the Beard. Automatically best facial hair in baseball. I don't know what the chat thinks, but I'm happy to hear your opinions there. But this guy right here is our winner. Look at those fucking eyes right there. But that beard wins our bracket. On that. Brian Wilson.
I'm talking about his beard. It's got just like.
Did he dye it? Did he dye that beard? Let's be honest. He totally dyed it.
Oh, definitely dyed it. But it screams man.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. I don't even know like how you even fade that thing. Like that.
Give me a little more love for Raleigh though. That stash.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Raleigh's great. I mean, that curl, like if I can be able to just grow out the mustache and get it to curl like that, that'd be amazing for the softball field this year. But some honorable mentions, even though Brian Wilson is our winner. Espo, I know you want me to mention him for freaking 7 episodes. So Oscar Gamble would be one.
Oscar Gamble, the king
insane
of swagger.
Hair. Stash was insane. Keith Hernandez. Keith Hernandez.
Why did we not put Big Boppy in there?
Great.
That's what I was saying, Enrique. But this guy was a Hernandez stash hater.
Hernandez stash hater. I honestly, I was like basic mustache. I don't know. Couldn't do it.
Started a whole
mustache is famous, bro.
Well, then you can argue that Mike Schmidt probably started it. You know, you can go back in mustache history. I mean, it's nuts. Freaking Dennis Eckersley. Another one.
Screw this. I'm quitting and I'm starting a mustache podcast
with Enrique, I guess.
Yeah, without a mustache, though.
Good luck.
But he doesn't even have a mustache.
Who?
I know nothing about facial hair.
Oh, yeah. No. I don't even know.
I can't grow a beard for shit. I get a little peach fuzz every couple weeks. So
yeah, get out of here with that. Danny Espinoza was another good one. Charlie Blackman was a great one. In the chat here, we got Sal Fasano, who I did mention before.
Legend.
Corey Fab says many ladies have sat on Keith's stash. That's awesome. Just reading them all here. Tom goes, how do you
too.
How do you put in Sparky over Goose Gossage, who also was one of my honorable mentions?
Facial hair.
But I wanted to go with guys who were going to win this whole thing. And Brian Wilson, I think, regardless of all the guys we just mentioned, I think was still winning this whole thing. It was either going to be Wilson or Raleigh Fingers. So crucify me, but that's it.
I'm surprised David Ortiz didn't make it.
Poppy, the greatest chin strap ever.
Started the whole chin strap.
He does have a sick. Yeah, that was a sick chin strap.
You know what? We need a 64 team facial hair bracket next time we do this.
Right. Yeah, no, like definitely a 64 seed bracket. We could have definitely kept going. We could have done that. We could do a best hair bracket. I'm sure like Tim Lincecum would be in that. You know, pre 2018 Jacob DeGrom would be in that.
Much as I hate Harper, he would be in there.
Oh, Bryce
has got flow. Hair. He's got some flow.
Bryce has got beautiful hair. Dansby Swanson's got beautiful hair.
Oh yes,
man. These guys got great hair.
Even like what Tatis Jr.'s got going now.
He's got some good locks.
Yep.
Yeah. That's beautiful hair right there. Look at that thing.
That's scary.
That's scary.
What am I looking at here? Frankie Valli?
Yeah. Just let everyone know that's not from my hands.
No. You should see the after. The after was Enrique's hands. The before was me. Before was all me. That's when shit was just shut down and all that great stuff, man. I had nothing better to do. I just had clippers and just
beers.
horrific. I get flack for it all the time because they said I look like the alien from Mars Attacks with the fucking big ass brain. But everybody should have saw the finished product. And you can see a lot of Enrique's finished products on his Instagram at Enrique Fades LLC. Yeah. Enrique, I have not even like a baseball question. I just have like a barber question because I think this is like an interesting thing. Now, off the record, I would never break up with my barber, Enrique, unless I was like moving away and I just physically couldn't be there. But if somebody wasn't like a fan of like their own barber, like what's the process of being like, hey, like it's not working out, or do people just ghost barbers? Like I feel like it's like a bad scenario.
Ghost. There has been people. It takes a lot to get me to this point, but I have just ignored people. Like, hey, you're just not worth the annoyance
and demand.
You stress me out too much. You say you're gonna be here, you're not here. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's got to be like the biggest like slap in the face when somebody just like freaking no shows and it's like, man, like I have a schedule set up here. Like, what the hell? I'm missing out. It's like it's the worst.
On top of texting after hours or before hours, big no.
That's a big no. But again, this is the man right here, the Paulo's Barbershop.
Go about that. But
what's up?
There's ways to go about that.
Yes.
You know, you always got to say apologize off the bat, even though it defeats the apology because you're still doing it. But just acknowledge that you're doing it. And it has to be something important going on. Like someone might have died, you got a funeral coming up, or, you know, last minute, I'm going to propose to my girl, or my kid's coming early. They're not expected, you know, something like that. Not, hey, what's up, bro? Sorry to text you, but are you going to be in like next weekend? No, that could have easily waited till the morning. That could have waited till the morning.
Come on. 100%. Slap in the face. I'm with it completely. Yeah, I needed to get into it. ESPO, I have to ask you, have you ever broken up with a barber before?
I have not. I've lived in
wow.
Well, up until this past year, I lived in Hillsborough for my whole life, and I've just been. Well, I didn't really have a barber growing up, but then probably in high school, I've been going to this same shop pretty consistently. Right. So, but yeah, I mean, if I was to move, I mean, I guess I would just it would be a sad breakup because my barber is also a Mets fan.
What you should do is, if you know you're moving, go get your last haircut, and you say, "Hey, bro, you're not going to see me anymore. I'm moving."
Right.
In a couple months, he's going to be like, yo, what the fuck happened to this guy? What did I do? Why did he just stop showing up?
Right.
You don't send out texts because there's nothing worse than getting rejected. You know, I've sent a few texts out to clients that I haven't seen now that I've been back open with the COVID stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's like some people just don't respond. And then it's like, why the fuck did I even bother reaching out to them? Like, this is what you get for trying to be a nice guy. You know?
Of course. And I tell you what, Enrique, the nicest guy and class act, and always a great time talking ball with you. And I definitely appreciate you hopping on, leading off. Let's do this again real soon. But it was a lot of fun, man. Thank you.
Pleasure having me. Pleasure being on. Great show. Really like what you guys got going here. Definitely going to be spreading the word.
And Espo, if you change barbers, you can go to Enrique, but I can give you a nice haircut as well. I'll just let you know.
Yeah, just make it be like a couple hours.
I'm going to go Enrique, Rich. I think I'm going to pass on the Rivera
I can give you a nice cut right around the edges, and that's it. That's it. Just a
that's a bomb, because that's what it looked like happened up there.
Horrific. That's just horrific. We're going to put that and burn that image away. Enrique, see you, bud. Thank you, man.
Take care, man.
Enrique Vargas. What a great sport, man. That was awesome. That was great to have him on the show. You know, again, he's done some great work with his podcast in the past, and again, just a great guy to just talk some baseball.
You're always recruiting good talent, Rich.
That's what I do, man. I just find the talent. I don't know. I just got a knack for it, I guess. I have no idea. But anyway, you can listen to our other podcast, Savages in the Bronx, on Twitch at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's at about 25 minutes here on Twitch. And of course, you can follow us at Savages Bronx on Twitter. So again, show hosted by me and Tom. We talk Yankees and just Yankees. So Espo, you want to come over with your Mets business? You're more than welcome to, but I definitely don't recommend you joining the show.
Savages in the Bronx.
Let's finish the show off with a fun bit called Who Am I? We did this a couple of weeks ago to great success, I guess, among ourselves, because we thought it was good. Everybody else thought it was terrible, but we're doing it again. Who am I? I'm going to start it off, Espo, this time. So Let's do it. I was born in 1973. I primarily played shortstop. I was drafted by the Boston Red Sox in 1994. I made my debut for the team 2 years later and then spent 9 years with Boston. I was a 7-time All-Star, and I ended my career in 2009 with the Oakland A's. Who am I?
Nomar?
That's correct. Yeah, Nomar Garciaparra. Excellent.
Hell yeah.
You got one right.
As soon as you said Boston in the 90s, I was just like, shortstop. I'm like, has to be Nomar.
Yes, Nomar Garciaparra. And I remember, like, when it was the early 2000s, the talk was, hey, the 3 best shortstops in the game, Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, and Nomar Garciaparra.
Oh, yeah.
Those were the guys when listen, the shortstop position's deep as is right now, but like when it was like superstardom, it was those 3, and then you had like Miguel Tejada. Yeah. Like it was nuts. And Nomar Garciaparra.
Once the Sox traded him away, they finally won it.
I don't think they traded him away. Actually, I think he signed as a free agent.
Right. Yeah, you're right. But once he was with them for a while, and they could never get over the hump. But then once they brought in our boy Orlando Cabrera.
Orlando.
Oh yeah.
Our, Who am I from 2 weeks ago? Awesome.
Yes,
all right, Espo, what do you got for me, bud?
This one might be really easy or might be really difficult. I'm going to start it off by telling you that I pitched a no-hitter in 2010. Probably not gonna get it, but
Dallas Braden.
Nope.
Okay.
He did pitch a perfect game in 2010, though.
He did.
He was a member of the 2011 World Series team Cardinals. I'm going to keep going. He was born in West Germany in 1983.
Kyle Loesch?
All right. Here's where you're definitely going to get it. He has pitched for a Major League record 14 teams.
Edwin Jackson.
Yes, sir. Steady Eddie.
Go. Yes, that did it. Yeah, Edwin Jackson still pitching, I think. I think he's still active in the game somewhere.
I thought maybe he might be in the minors or some independent ball, but last I checked, he was with Detroit, I want to say, 2018 or 19. But, I mean, man, that guy just pitched for everyone.
He's still a free agent. I mean, he last pitched he signed a minor league deal with the Diamondbacks back in February 2020. So he hasn't had a job since, but technically he's an active pitcher at the age of 37. I mean, with the amount of teams he's played for since 2003, you'd think he'd be older than 37.
I'm going to try something here, Rich. I'm going to name all of his teams in One breath.
Oh, no.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, no.
Dodgers, Devil Rays, Tigers, Diamondbacks, White Sox, Cardinals, Nationals, Cubs, Cubs again, Braves, Marlins, Padres, Orioles, Nationals, A's, Blue Jays, Tigers.
Wow.
That was a lot.
Damn,
But
you almost died.
Yes, Corey in the chat. That was the friggin' 200-pitch no-hitter where he had 8 walks, the cheapest no-hitter in Major League history.
But you know what? When your name's Edwin Jackson and you have not much in your career, you better throw like 200 pitches to get that one no-hitter because that'll be the most significant part of your career. What's up, Dan Breezy 2 in the chat? Appreciate you showing up for the very end because our show is now over. Thanks for joining us, guys, once again for another edition of Leading Off. We'll see you here 7 p.m. Eastern time on Twitch. As always, Espo, anybody you want to thank before we log off?
As always, shout out to the fam for tuning in. Special shout out to my homie Aman, Rutgers homie, for tuning in. Thanks, dog. And thank you to Jacob deGrom for not killing your teammates.
Good stuff, Jacob deGrom. Big thanks to Enrique Vargas. Again, check him out on Instagram at Enrique Fades LLC. Best hands in the game when it comes to cutting hair. I mean, he's fantastic. Want to thank my parents as always. Shout out to my mom who's recovering from being sick, and Mother's Day is coming up this Sunday, so I want to shout out to my mom and all the moms out there. I suppose mom as well. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, especially those in the chat as well. And yes, of course, our Twitch followers and viewers and our supporters. We love you all. We thank you all. We hope to see you here next week and weeks beyond. Have a good one, guys. Take care.